I'd been probably asking him about his numerous girlfriends, and he said, "Mom, I'm gay."
वो क्या बोलते इजड़ा बोल रहा तो चुकरा नहीं कंडो रे कंडो पैदा हो गया तो ऐसा बोला तो हमको भी नहीं लगता.
I was just wondering what is she going to tell me, and she said I'm a lesbian.
In 2011, cnn-ibn telecast a documentary on how a few parents stood by their children, their lesbian, gay and bisexual children, how they came to understand and respect their choices. Every child needs love and support is what every parent echoed. In the next 30 minutes, my child is gay. Not as a debate, not as a political move, not on religious grounds, but those few moments when children came out and spoke to their parents.
Isn't this view so beautiful, Nishit? Beautiful. Hanji beta. What is it, bache? What is it you want to tell Mama?
Do you have any idea what it is?
As if there is something in your mind and you're very, very disturbed. What is it, beta? What is it that you want to tell me? Please tell me, bache. Please, beta.
I'm gay.
What did you say?
You heard me.
You're joking. You like to shock people. You just like to shock people.
I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It was in 1998 that Nishit Saran made this documentary, Summer in My Veins.
What makes you think you're gay, Nishit?
And through this came out in the open to tell his mother Minna Saran he was gay.
I'm gay.
The moment he told me, I was taken aback. Because as I've always said, I didn't know about it. But it was a split-second decision. Here is my son, I love him for whatever he is. If he's coming out to me, he's looking for a support, an unconditional support, and it's there. That's all. And that's all there it is to me.
Actually, I got a call from her. And I said, so what?
Those were your exact words?
Exactly.
Huh? So what? If we can't support our child on what he is right, it's not because supporting blindly.
The young handsome man died in a car crash in 2002, but the Sarans came forward to dispel myths about homosexuality. And while Minna and her husband needed no convincing, they have often wondered how this one aspect has come to define their son.
Nishit was not just a gay boy, just not a gay individual. There was much more to Nishit. His intensity, his intelligence. I mean, so, as a mother, I would say 1001 things about him. But it's fine. If it's helping the cause, it's fine. I'm ready to say that. I'm not ashamed of it that he was gay. It makes no difference to me.
Saran's steely and dignified resolve, in slight contrast to Chitra Palekar's overt and sometimes sentimental support. But what the two parents have in common is complete and total acceptance of their children's sexual priorities.
I remember that day pretty well. I was in my bedroom. It was afternoon, and she just came in, and then she started talking, and she just said, "Amma, I want to tell you something." And we have been very close. So this sort of a beginning was a bit, I was just wondering what is she going to tell me. And she said, I'm a lesbian.
Shamali's coming out in the open was definitely a surprise for filmmaker Chitra and Amol Palekar. But the mother's first reaction was to know all about what homosexuality truly meant.
You see, I knew about homosexuality. I had seen people, met people, but I didn't know much about it. And my own daughter being lesbian means what? That also I didn't know properly. For me, there's no issue, but I don't know anything about it. So she said, don't worry, I'll give you books to read. See? She knew everything, you see. What are the prejudices, what are the things. So she only started telling me, see Amma, I want to just assure you that it is not a sickness. I want to tell you that it is not an aberration. Okay, there's nothing wrong with my mind. Okay, and that sort of thing. And so then at one point I almost wanted to laugh because I could see that yes, there was nothing wrong. I said, yeah, I've got all that now. So, of course I got that.
As the mother fondly looks back at childhood pictures of her chubby young girl, the faith and pride is unmistakable.
They're so cute.
Shamali is a professor and has done her parents proud, from academics to writing and to life's other important choices.
I can proudly tell you that Shalmali and her partner have completed 12 years. There's no power problem. There's no ego hassle.
Is there any oddness from your perspective about the relationship?
Well, frankly, being a Saraswat Konkani, I think, and the way I was brought up in early days of independence, even a man and a woman going into the bedroom was a little arey bapre type. Therefore, but one had slowly got used to it, right? So, so maybe two women going, I had to consciously say to myself, but they are partners. It's exactly like my sister and her husband entering the bedroom.
That social conditioning played out in many different ways and often not free of prejudice.
I want to be able to say partner and not just friend. But when I'm in a larger circle and people ask me, hey, Shalini is not married still.
What do you say?
And then what did I answer? I answered, no, she doesn't want to get married. And I realized that it was all a cover-up. Somewhere deep down, I was still slightly shy, worried. Not because I was embarrassed of Shalmali. I said, now I have to go beyond. Now that I'm aware, I have to go beyond.
More than 2 decades after her daughter came out in the open, Chitra is today one of the prominent voices favouring decriminalisation of homosexual relationships, countering claims that overturning Section 377 would destroy family values.
Section 377 called them criminals, and my child is not a criminal. Sexual practices or sexuality is a very personal thing. It is not at all a state subject, and no state or any authority like that has any right to interfere in that. It's extremely personal, it is private.
Chitra in recent years has taken this resolve further and never shied away from telling friends and relatives about Shamali. At the bottom of all this support is perhaps the world's most secure bond, that of a mother and daughter. The hardships, the confusion a child may have gone through in what is largely a heterosexual world is certainly not lost on this woman.
Around 13, 14, whenever she started feeling, she couldn't remember exactly, but everywhere around me, everything was heterosexual. Whether it was the photographs, whether it was the posters, whether it was the films, or I had no acquaintance amongst friends. I had no family member who I knew as homosexual. I just didn't know. That was the time I think slightly broke down, and broke down in the sense inside, and I just felt that, oh dear, where was I? I called myself such a liberal, such a progressive, such a well-educated, well-read person. What nonsense. I mean, I couldn't even understand this.
Coming up ahead on 30 Minutes.
I'd been probably asking him about his numerous girlfriends, and he said, "Mom, I'm gay."
She has heard and played many notes. But the one that has perhaps reverberated in her life like no other was when her son, Deb Jyoti, told her he's gay. About 15 years ago, Kea Ghosh, a lawyer from a Bengali middle-class household, realized her son is what society calls different. The admission came out just like that, to an often asked mundane question.
I'd been probably asking him about his numerous girlfriends, and he said, "Mom, I'm gay. So I'm not interested in getting married." So that was that.
Surprised, not shocked at that time, today the mother-son share many laughs. Stories of love and heartbreaks. Kea is a close confidant.
How many of them were there who proposed to you?
Well, there were like 4 transgender people who proposed to me.
The love for her child, the fear of losing him, has only made her stronger as she realizes the conventional norms of society of being a grandparent or having a daughter-in-law will not be applicable to her.
I did not want to lose my son. If I opposed him, being the person that he was, that he is, he would have probably left home. It's difficult to accept that you're not going to be a grandmother, you're not going to have a daughter-in-law around the house. It's a whole different set of attitudes, approaches.
A change that husband and Deb Jyoti's father found tough to accept. In fact, Kea shared this detail first with her daughter and only a year later with her husband. All remember the day Deb Jyoti first brought a man home, his former partner. Mother Kea was keen to meet her son's choice but was also apprehensive.
His partner had been so exceptionally nice, and I had accepted him totally. Very nice boy, very steady, stable. That's why I was very surprised and shocked when they broke up. It's a matter of bodily needs. It's like food. Sex is like having an appetite for food. So we really shouldn't be judgmental about whether I'm taking it here, whether I'm taking it there, this side, right side, left side, whatever.
So as Kea rightly says, that sex, like food, is a bodily need. But the truth is that people sometimes conjure up the worst when they hear the word homosexual. And not just children, but also parents. They go through feelings of anger, guilt and embarrassment. But as the story of Munitha Yamma and Veena shows us, it is possible to find love, normalcy and happiness again.
Happy birthday.
Veena has turned 33.
Happy birthday to you.
Though she's celebrating her 15th birthday. This day, 15 years ago, she was reborn a woman.
वो दिन पूरा मेरे को इतना अच्छा लगे वो मेरा जिंदगी अभी स्टार्ट हो रहा है.
Born as Vittal to Munitha Yamma and Shiv Langaya, the young man transformed to Veena. It was a similar ceremony, celebrations as though it was the start of a new life. It was the day that Veena first dressed like a woman.
वो दिन साड़ी पहनी अभी तक नहीं खोली. हरी साड़ी, हरी ब्लाउज, हरी पेटीकोट लगाना, बंगड़ियाँ डालना, नाक छेदना, कान छेदना सब करते, बाल में फूल लगाते.
For this simple moment of joy, Veena had to overcome more than a life of struggle. A struggle where she was lonely, with even her mother turning against her.
वो छोटा में क्या करता था, वो तिलक लगना, सिर ये छोटी करना, सामान धोना, कपड़ा धोना, घर से भी धोना, पोंछना, फिर वो कपड़े धोने का, खाना पकाने का सभी शुरू करे। क्यों ऐसा करता? चौकड़ी सर का तुम्हें नहीं करना ऐसा सभी, हमको शर्म लगता तो चक्रा सर का पैदा होकर ऐसा करते ना, क्यों करके बोले हम।
The mother was unable to fathom how her child, born a male, was slowly changing her identity.
आदमी लोग ऐसा बोलते ना, आजू बाजू वाला वो क्या बोलते, इजड़ा बोल डाली, इजड़ा तो चुकरा नहीं, एक तो पैदा हो गया तो ऐसा बोला तो हमको भी नहीं लगता। हमको रोने का या अच्छा पकड़ को मारे उसको करया, क्या भी नहीं।
Veena was then just 11 years old, unsure, confused about why she felt like a woman. Nothing in her body seemed to suggest that. Facial hair, a dark skin, and a developing Adam's apple. It was her demeanor that was becoming more and more feminine each passing day.
एक दिन माँ घर से बाहर डाल दिया मेरा माँ ने, तेरे से मेरी इज्जत टूट गया करके मेरे को बाहर डाल दिया।
For the next few years, Veena slept on the road, did odd jobs to fill her stomach. All this even as her mother stayed a stone's throw away. Mother Munithayamma held herself strong and continued to turn a blind eye to her son-turned-daughter. Veena's plight did soften her just a bit, but the social stigma of being called a hijra's mother was simply too much to bear. On turning 18, Veena, a woman in every sense of the word and spirit, took the bold step and got herself castrated, something she had planned to do from the day she left home.
पैसे लेके मैं उधर चले गई, इधर हमारा गंगा करके की जगह था, ये एरिया वाले उनके हाथ पे 10,000 दी मैं बोली मैं कैस्ट्रेशन होने का है, तक मेरा उम्र 18-19 हो गई थी।
When the mother heard about the operation, she went to see her daughter, and all differences simply vanished. 7 years of separation ended with tears and a bond that only a mother and daughter can share.
लोगों को सभी हम बोले, उसको लड़ाई करे, हमारा बच्चा को हम ना इज्जत देता, तुमने क्या जाता, क्यों लड़ाई करता, क्यों ऐसा गाली देता, उसको इजड़ा क्यों बोलता।
The mother and daughter have stayed together since then.
मने एड्रेस याद?
Veena's with an NGO and works for the same society that once ridiculed her. Munithayamma, on the other hand, has stood behind her daughter rock solid. Under the love and care of her mother, Veena is now reliving a childhood she once longed for. Every parent we met left us with one thought. Normal is relative. Sexuality is a tricky area where societies around the world make rules, control, even take punitive action. But as Justice Kennedy wrote in his judgment while legalizing same-sex marriages in the United States, the LGBT individuals are asking for equal dignity in the eyes of law and being part of a union in one of the oldest institutions. From our entire team here, thanks for watching.